Live? You're live. Hello, YouTube. There we go. False start on me. I'm a sad Western Kentucky basketball fan. My team didn't make it.
Hey, brackets here.
Hope you guys are doing well. YouTube,
Yay.
What's going on? How is your bracket? Let us know in the comments.
Already
you could, yeah. You can actually let us know in the comments.
I've not made it yet.
Oh,
and
Josh.
It's already busted.
Oh, no.
Boo. You haven't
I've
made
been
one
running
yet?
all over the place.
What were you doing last night?
Why would I make a bracket last night?
Why
Probably
wouldn't
so you
of
can record a show about your bracket on Monday.
I literally was refreshing the app because it wouldn't let you make a bracket as soon as it came out.
Oh, tragic.
Was tragic.
Tragic. All right, I think I'm good.
I had to wait a whole 30 minutes. It was ridiculous.
Oh, that's appalling. That's appalling. I'm good on my side if you guys are good.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Okay. Recording. And here we go.
Recording.
Welcome to the Fifth and Goal Sports Podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Aaron, Josh, and Johnny.
Welcome to the show. Listeners, guess what I have? I don't know if my mic's picking that up. Technically, I was waving the Horizon League bracket at you because that's what was on my desk. I don't actually have the normal one printed out, but but you don't know that. You think that was an NCAA tournament bracket because that's what we have in front of us today. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing? Johnny, what's up, man?
Best time of the year.
Oh,
Best
so good.
time of the year. There's still a chill in the air.
Yes.
But it's sunny outside and we have March Madness upon us. All we need to complete the vibes right now is the knowledge of what random flavor Coca-Cola is going to try to sell to us during the commercials this year.
That's true. Because I don't know, what was it, senior year? That's when the Coca-Cola like orange cream and the three of us all bit hard. And by that, I mean, we each got a singular can of it, but it worked. It got
Coca-Cola coffee.
Oh, like, gosh, I forgot about that. I can't remember. That was horrible.
Yeah, I can't remember all of the other ones that they've tried to sell to us during March, but there's been many.
Oh, that was bad. And I think we were trying to be cool and say like, oh, this is a cool thing. Looking back on it, that was bad.
Bad.
Not good. What that was not, was that college? I don't know. Bad. Either way. Josh, what's going on, man?
GA life.
Someone's playing music from their vehicle right outside my door. I'm trying to see who
it's warm weather vibes. I can't.
Warm weather vibes. It's 80 down here. It's St. Patrick's Day. Fellas.
Oh yeah. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone.
I want to notice two things. I want to point out two things. One, I'm the only one on this stream wearing green visually.
I got some green.
Oh, there you go.
Green.
I was wearing green.
My shorts are green.
Okay.
I'm not going to show YouTube my shorts.
Viewers who are primarily streamers watching the YouTube stream live will know that we started about 20 minutes behind what we normally start.
Or if you're a real one, you know that this is actually just when we normally start, is 20 minutes after.
And if you recognize that thing, one, shut up. Two, I consider myself a simple man. I don't have a lot of things I ask for in my life. I feel like I've learned to be content over these past 5 years in Dallas. I feel like I ask for a few things. One of those things being one McDonald's in the DFW area having the Shamrock Shake available on my commute home so that I can at least drink a Shamrock Shake on stream.
Oh, no.
They didn't have one?
Multiple locations.
Uncle O'Grimacy's coming for him, man.
Uncle O'Grimacy.
He's coming for him.
The jokes I want to make about Uncle O'Grimacy and
the
Ireland. I
IRA.
cannot make.
The IRA.
I cannot say the things I would like to have done. But I am not only late, I am all sweaty from running around multiple McDonald's. Just the ones on my commute home, but that's like
Josh,
3 or 4.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
I do have a question. Is this they didn't have it, or the ice cream machine wasn't working?
Johnny, I'm so glad you asked. Because at 2 of the 3, ice cream machine was working.
What? It
And
was
when I went
actually
to order, specifically, the Shamrock was unavailable. I tried to order even mobile for one of them.
Man, they're
And
liars. They're liars.
the-
It's totally working. They have them.
I went to order a Shamrock Shake. It said, "Yeah, we could put it in your basket for you." So I put it into my cart. On my way back, it's one that's like out of my way, but I was gonna make the trip and just be 5 minutes late instead of 20. And when I went to go check out, it said, "Oh, sorry, this item is not available at this time of day." Ladies and gentlemen,
This
the time
of day?
4:45
Huh?
p.m. p.m.
Pum.
post-mortem, which is what McDonald's is about to have.
Yeah.
Then I'll fix something. Now, viewer, you might be astute enough to say, "Well, Josh, that is a big bummer. But can't you just go out after the stream? You guys don't stream until midnight. You can totally go out and try again."
That's not the point. That's not the principle of it.
One, it's not the point. And 2, I got the good parking spot at my apartment complex, and I cannot give that up.
Yeah.
It's like the one that's right next to my entryway.
Take the
so
bus,
no.
Josh. Take the
I'll-
bus.
I'll Uber the mile that it takes. Can't walk. We're not walkable, but I could Uber there.
Right. This is
But
America.
at this
not
point,
walkable.
what's the point?
Yeah. Well, Josh, thank you for that story. I'm sorry it has such a bad ending. I hope that I don't know how you even resolve it, because it's not like it can get better now, because
Could
it's too late.
retroactively be a fan of one of the 13 SEC teams
Nope.
that got into the tournament and be happy that way. I'll be a fan of Tennessee. They make it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll
They're
be a
decent.
fan of
Name an
Tennessee.
SEC team. They're
Yeah, I was gonna
probably.
say, I had a pretty good shot. Actually.
Yeah. Well, I don't
Spoiler
know,
alert, my
guys. I don't know what
will
bracket
be
you're looking
really
at.
Heavily biased against the SEC teams that I do not like.
Now, I don't know what bracket you guys are looking at. I'm looking at the quarterfinals, and I'm seeing Florida Gulf Coast there. Is that the same bracket? Do we have the same bracket? I'm also seeing
Weird, I have that
UC
too.
Riverside, who is no longer in this tournament, and Jacksonville and Cleveland State. Are we looking? This is what we're
UC
looking
Riverside
I
is in
have-
2 other tournaments though simultaneously.
at. I think they finally agreed to go to the NIT. I think.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did.
Which kicked South Alabama out, and they're understandably outraged. This is the show you were probably expecting. Oh boy, I can't wait for their insight on the tournament. And it's 15 minutes in, and we're
University of
talking
Maryland,
about
Baltimore, right?
Irish politics, the college basketball invitational, and UC Riverside being in 2 tournaments at once. You're welcome. And Josh making death threats against McDonald's. Welcome to the show. We're so back.
Watch out, Ron.
We're so back. All right, I got to pull the right. Okay, you know what? I do have the NIT bracket in front of me. Anyone curious about that?
Sure, why not? It's probably
Furman
more
playing
fairly
North Texas.
chosen.
Big matchup there.
Aaron, before we talk about the bracket, can I scream about the seating and
Yeah.
bubble and everything
Oh, I'll mute
per
myself
usual?
real quick. Go for it. I'll play this guitar behind me.
Yeah, do it. I feel like Josh should leave this unmuted. You should be the background
Honestly.
music for this. All right, we're good.
Where's a pick?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I don't-
Well,
Serenade this
okay,
man.
so the bubble. There's always disagreements. There's also always seed discrepancies compared to what most people expect or want. I will say the committee always does a tough job, and it's even tougher with the expanded mega conferences because you're trying to keep these guys away from each other and to your best ability so that they're not playing each other in the second round. right? So that also probably screwed up some seed lines where you had to adjust teams. But let's not talk about seed lines. Let's just talk about who got in and who didn't. So
Sorry, Josh
honestly,
tooting in the background is killing me.
I know. So I average about 2 wrong a year. And I got 2 wrong again this year. And one of them I expected to be wrong about. And that's Boise State. The committee does not respect the Mountain West. Boise State had some outstanding wins. They made it to the Mountain West title game. Like, they were very deserving to be in. I have an issue with them not getting in, but it's to be expected, and it would have been tight. I get it. What I didn't expect and was floored by, as was every single other bracketologist, and we're talking like 131 other bracketologists, who all had West Virginia in the field. Every single one of them. And most of them didn't have them in the first 4. They're not in my first 4. Now they're the 5th team, but they wouldn't have even been playing in Dayton if it was up to me. And to have them in, to have them out, and to put North Carolina in is a travesty. It is. I don't care about North Carolina's ratings. This is like old SEC type of talk where it's like, we'll look at their strength of schedule. North Carolina just scheduled a tough schedule. They didn't beat anybody. Their only quad 1 win was against UCLA. They lost 12 other quad 1 opportunities. Oh, they were so close to beating Duke without Cooper Flagg.
Yeah.
Like, and they still didn't win. They couldn't even get out of their own way and not have a free throw line violation, which I felt awful for the kid. But North Carolina had so many chances to pull off these wins, where I feel bad for teams like a UC Irvine who goes 28-6 and gets like 2 chances at a quad 1 win. North Carolina gets 13 and blows it, and you still bail them out. Like, the lesson learned here was, hey, just schedule super tough, because who cares? But then at the same time, you put Texas in at 19-15, who does not have as good of metrics, but they actually beat good teams on their schedule. They beat them. 15 losses was a little too much for me, but they were my first team out. I didn't have a huge problem with that, because at least Texas proved that they can beat teams in the field. And if you don't understand quad 1, quad 2, I get it. But basically, if you have a quad 1 win, for the most part, that's an NCAA tournament team. So North Carolina basically said, we can't beat actually a tournament team. And while Texas, went 6-12 in their conference, 19-15, they beat some good teams. They beat Texas A&M twice. They beat Kentucky, Missouri, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State. They're all in the tournament. Really good wins. West Virginia, meanwhile, they beat Gonzaga and Arizona on neutral court. They beat Kansas. They beat Iowa State. And they went 10-10 in their conference, tough conference, Big 12, 19-13 overall. And they gave a bogus reason, the chair, on afterwards when asked a question about it. He said, well, one of their best players is out. He's been out all season.
Yeah,
he only
December.
played one Big 12. He only played in one Big 12 game. That's not a reason. That's insane. That's ridiculous. You're rewarding a team for literally quality losses. I hate that. I hate it in college football. I hate it in college basketball. And listen, I get it. Maybe making a mountain, people are basically say you're making a mountain out of a molehill. Who cares about the last couple teams who get in? It's a huge deal. VCU, once upon a time, was a team in the last 4 in Dayton, who a lot of people didn't think should have made it that year. They went all the way to the Final Four. All the way to the Final Four that year.
Yep.
Does it matter a ton every year? Not necessarily. But more often than not, in the last 15 years, I believe it's 14 out of the 15 years, one of those play-in teams wins their first round matchup. So if North Carolina does end up getting out of the first 4 and they win their first round matchup, that does not validate them being in the tournament. I just want to be clear about that. The outcome does not validate. They shouldn't even have the opportunity. They shouldn't be there. I feel terrible for West Virginia. West Virginia is not taking it well, by the way. Their governor having a press conference today. And more and then I'll get off my soapbox and we can talk about the tournament. No acting athletic directors should be on the committee. And that's not just to this year. I've always had a problem, but it's never been as bad of a look as it is this year because North Carolina's active athletic director is the chair. And I know you're like, well, he recuses himself. Okay, but like they're around each other for days and days and days at a time.
Yep.
You think they're not talking about stuff at lunch and at dinner? And you're telling me he recuses himself for the entire bubble conversation? Because you would have to. Realistically,
Yep.
he would not be able to be in there at any point in time if North Carolina is comparatively to all these other schools. So I just you get out of that by getting retired ADs, retired coaches, get bracketologists in there. Let them do this. Also, because athletic directors this shouldn't be on their plate anyway.
No.
Get them out of there. And I'm not even saying North Carolina went out of Bubba Cunningham went out of his way and this is absolute like legitimate fraud and he purposefully did it. But psychologically and subconsciously you did. And you can't tell me and there will always be biases, but you can't have any more of a bias than be the active athletic director who gets a 6-figure bonus with your basketball team making the tournament.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, I like, guys, it's just a terrible, terrible look for the committee and everyone. And they were giving really terrible excuses. Like they said, Indiana was out because they didn't do enough with their opportunities in the quad 1, even though they have no losses outside of the quad 1 and 2, I believe. And then why is North Carolina in? Like they're talking in circles. They're trying to excuse it. Listen, I love Hubert Davis. Honestly, I have nothing against North Carolina in general, but on principle, that was terrible. West Virginia got hosed. I feel bad for West Virginia more than anything. There's no reason that they didn't make it. All right, soapbox over. Sorry.
No, it's good. And I think that's all I saw on Twitter yesterday was basically that same sentiment repeated by a lot of people that study this kind of stuff all the time and are like you watching all the college basketball. And yeah, the fact that there are people deciding where teams go who could directly financially benefit is insane. It's just not needed. There's people out there, well-documented people on Twitter, like T3 Bracketology is a great example. Fantastic follow. He literally said he watched all 364 teams 3+ times. That's all this guy does. I think he actually has a real job. I don't know. Hopefully not. Hopefully this is all he does.
He does.
Get that guy.
Does have a real job.
How is? Anyways. Yeah.
But Aaron, just again, sorry. Joe Lunardi, I've never seen a stronger stance for him on. He came out flaming the committee this morning when he found his article. Yeah. Because he basically said, you can't put in Texas and North Carolina because they're polar opposite arguments. If you can argue Xavier and North Carolina, but you can't argue Texas and North Carolina. They're like, if you're putting in Texas, North Carolina can't be in. You have to put in somebody else. Yeah. So anyway, that's it. I mean, Lunardi's usually very calm and collected, and he was clearly agitated too.
Right. And North Carolina will bring in a lot of money because it's a big fan base, but surely that had nothing to do with it. Surely. Even if it's not on purpose, subconsciously you think UNC, you think big brand. Yes. Yeah, why not? Let's find a reason for them to be in. West Virginia, I'm sorry. That's tough. But also, I don't feel that bad. Win more games. Anyways, it's college basketball.
Have a theory.
Okay.
Remember how upset all of the SEC Twitter fanboys were when the selection committee, within a reasonable amount of accuracy, as we found, selected the seeding for the college football playoff? And we saw how justified we were by how badly the SEC did in any time they had to play a non-hypothetical game. My theory is every SEC person, head coach, media guy, whatever, they all sat in a room and they went, hey, can we get basketball though? And Mr. True TV said, sure. I don't know who's in charge of True TV. I'm assuming.
They're a
Mr.
basketball
Mr. True,
conference now.
I think.
Is what I'm hearing, Josh.
That's what I've been
SEC
saying. The
basketball
SEC,
conference.
That's what they've been saying. I mean, they have 13 teams in the tournament. They have to be they have to be a basketball league, right?
I don't think they care about football anymore.
No.
I don't think
I don't
they're.
think
I
so.
really don't think historically they've had.
just basketball.
Honestly, I don't even know if they've really had that robust a football culture. Honestly,
Yeah.
No.
No. There's a lot of people also that are upset with
that.
the number of
Clip
SEC
that.
teams that are in this tournament. And to that, I would say, I understand that's a lot of teams. We've never had this many teams from one conference before. However, if you have a problem with it, might I suggest you beat them in the non-conference? The SEC
Right.
beat the ACC 14-2 in their challenge this year. Now, that was also because
of
the
non-conference
ACC was
games.
down this year. Even like I was watching some of that tournament. The announcers on the ACC network said as much. But that's just part of it. The SEC just annihilated everyone that they came into contact with. So if you don't like it, that's fine. But you should maybe just beat them. And I'm here to tell you, I think
I
they're
don't know,
about to have a
Aaron.
good tournament.
That's a conference that went 500 in conference play.
True.
Are they actually that good?
That's a good
and
point,
also,
John.
it's 14 teams, not 13.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just LSU and South Carolina.
Yeah.
Those scrubs.
Yeah.
we couldn't slot them in somehow.
Yeah.
LSU did their best.
Not even a play-in.
Yeah. Well, we do have the bracket in front of us. Let's have the fun part of actually picking.
Generic.
So we're going to go through, we're not going to do what we usually do and like each person walk through their bracket because frankly, I'm not sure you care. But what we will do is go through this bracket and highlight some of the most intriguing matchups. We will give you our picks and we will ultimately give you our Final Four and our championship game. But a couple things before we do that. Number one, we'd like to know what your bracket is so we can maybe do better and laugh at you, or more likely that you can do better than us and flame us on Twitter. So you are more than welcome to join on ESPN, the Fifth and Goal bracket group. It is live now. There is no prize for the winner other than bragging rights. I'll say your name out loud on this show for all to hear. The other thing is if you're watching on YouTube or if you are just a person and you have a YouTube account, which is probably you. If you don't have a YouTube account, that's frankly shocking. Give us hit that subscribe button on the Fifth and Goal YouTube account. We are trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. We are moving that direction. Actually, what we want to do is we actually want to have someday, eventually, we're going to turn this into a challenge. I think we actually already have our first milestone, but I think it'd be so fun to have more subscribers than a college football stadium. There's 134 of them, so we can kind of go down the list and say, oh, we have as many subscribers as fits in Yager Stadium in Miami, which is like 40,000. So eventually that's kind of the challenge we're going to do. So this is the preseason, so you can join us right now for the preseason, but I'll get that list next week. We'll see, because I think we've passed Charlotte's football stadium and subscribers, I think. I'll do some research on that. But anyways, if you would, we've got more content coming out. I'm working on a bunch of stuff right now behind the scenes, editing. So we'll have some videos up in April, which I'm really excited about. So that's my public service announcement. And it's also just free, and you get fun sports content, hopefully. So that's the PSA. Let's get into this bracket. We're starting in the South, where the number one overall seed is. It is, of course, the Auburn Tigers. Even though they lost 3 of the last 4, they had a 1 seed locked up probably a month ago. They had the overall 1 seed locked up, a couple weeks ago, probably at this point. So no surprise there. I will say the 8-9 game in this series, in this region, I should say, Louisville-Creighton. 2 teams that are probably seeded pretty badly. Louisville is an 8 seed. They finished second in the ACC standings, whereas Clemson, who finished third, is a 5 seed. Now, I know there's strength of schedule and all that stuff, but this is a really interesting 8-9.
They both made their conference tournament finals.
Yeah.
I think this year's seeding was another, which we're reminded every year. The committee does not care about the outcome of these conference tournaments at all.
No.
They have already done most of the seed work. They're just waiting to see if there's bid stealers. Like, I honestly think that's most of, and I have to get that through my head a little bit too.
All the games.
Yeah, it is easier than watching. For Auburn's sake, I know most people say you don't want Louisville in this game because the game's being played in Lexington. And I do get that. Like, from that perspective, you will be playing in a hostile environment to an extent, although I'm sure Auburn will travel really well. I actually think they'd prefer to be playing Louisville than compared to Creighton. Creighton has the length to create to actually, and an outstanding senior laden backcourt. And they also have length to provide some issue to Auburn. So I think from a matchup perspective, they're hoping for less.
Yeah, that's a good point. And again, if you believe in a team being hot at the end of the season and then continuing that through, Auburn has lost 3 of 4. Now, I think it's hard to find. I mean, again, upsets can happen anywhere, but I think we'll see how unanimous we are with Auburn later on. Michigan, who wins the Big Ten tournament, has the misfortune of running into UC San Diego. So here's the thing, because Johnny, you've talked about this team for weeks now, so it's worth mentioning here. The Tritons are in their first NCAA tournament, so that's exciting. But what's crazy is they're going to be so undersized. Michigan's got these 2 7-footers that both play at the same time. And you'd think, wow, Michigan will just be able to overpower the Tritons. Hey, maybe. But what Michigan does struggle with is turnovers, and what UC San Diego is incredible at, one of the best teams in the country, is creating turnovers. So it's pretty clear what the path to victory is for the Tritons. Can they do it? We'll find out. But it's pretty obvious. So that's the 5-12.
And Michigan just won the Big Ten tournament, but they were really struggling before that. So it's Aaron's right. All about guard play for Michigan. If their guards are playing well, they can beat anybody in the tournament. Yeah. But they can lose to anybody if their guard, like, it's all their guard play. It's all up to them. Their big guys are pretty consistent.
Yes. And in this region, we also have the winner of that UNC game. They're playing, was it San Diego State, I believe they're playing on Wednesday. So also in the region, Iowa State checks in as a 3 seed. You've got Michigan State, who's been playing really well this season, as a 2 seed. Marquette's checking in at a 7. I think that's a sneaky team. The committee, as a general kind of overview, is not super high on the Big East. So if they're wrong about that, then there's some opportunities for like a Creighton or a Marquette to post some a big upset. Marquette being 7, potentially being able to knock off Michigan State. You've got Creighton. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be a pretty huge upset. So that's what's happening in the South. In the West, another SEC team, the Florida Gators, who that offense, oh my.
Pick the upset here.
Josh has Norfolk State. Book it.
Please
Yikes.
Please don't.
Now, what's crazy is that Florida could either end up playing a fellow SEC team in the second round, that being Oklahoma, or the 2-time defending champions, the UConn Huskies, who have not had nearly as good of a season, but it's still UConn in March. I mean, that's probably got to mean something, and they've got some players that were on some of those teams, so we'll see how we think about that. Memphis, Colorado State is a fascinating 5-12 game. I mean, frankly, they're all fascinating, but that one's super interesting. Colorado State, they're a red-hot team right now. So if that's kind of how you want to pick it, that's good. Maryland's there. Maryland Grand Canyon at 413 is funny. Drake plays Missouri. Drake's 11, Missouri's 6. I think more than 50% of people are going to pick Drake in this game.
It's true.
Listen, Kendrick already smoked him. I can't pick Drake after that.
Well, fair enough.
But Drake's 30-3. Like, again, this is one of my pet peeves every year by the committee. They feel like, unless your name is Gonzaga, they feel like you're not allowed to be seeded higher than an 11 seed as a mid-major. Period. And there's absolutely no reason Drake at 30-3, I don't care that they play in the Missouri Valley, should be an 11 seed. And that's why everybody's picking them to beat Missouri. Missouri's not even a bad team. But Missouri is another one of those SEC teams that really struggles defensively and has to win via shootout. That's why they've been a volatile team as well this year in the SEC. They've been able to knock off just about anyone. They've also been able to lose to just about anyone. All that is very dependent upon what kind of day it is. And that's just how basketball is to begin with. They are a live by the 3, die by the 3, and they are fast.
Yeah, I'm excited for the nation to watch Drake because I've watched them a couple times this year, and it's a treat. All right, rounding out this region. How about the bottom of this region? How about the coaches at the bottom of the bracket in this region? You've got in round 1, the first round, Kansas versus Arkansas. And fellas, you know what happens when Kansas plays Arkansas. You know what happens. The loser is pronounced the way the winner's state is named. So when Kansas beats Arkansas or vice versa, so Kansas beats Arkansas, it's Arkansas from now until those teams play. Now, I know they just played in a bowl game, and frankly, I don't even remember who won. I think Arkansas won.
Arkansas won. It's been Kensaw the last 2 years.
Yes.
Kensaw.
So Kensaw, sorry. So my apologies for mispronouncing their name. Kensaw, the 7 seed, taking on Calipari and the 10 seed Arkansas. And if that's not good enough, the winner of that game probably plays St. John's. So just ridiculous coaching at the bottom of the, I mean, just fantastic. Bill Self versus Calipari in round 1 is awesome. That game is on Thursday at 7:10 p.m. Eastern time. So that's excellent.
This is going to be really mean.
Yeah.
And I've made it here so you can just edit this out if it's too mean. I thought you were about to say the loser of this team now has to rank 50th in education.
Oh no.
I'm leaving that in. That's good. Ooh. Oh no. Ooh. Where's my, I need my,
Sometimes we get real on this podcast.
that's right. Oh no. Okay. Well, in the East, there's no good way to transition from that. In the East, we've got Duke. Cooper Flagg injured, did not play towards the last couple games of the ACC tournament. It did not matter. The Blue Devils still won, which honestly speaks a lot to that team. There's a bunch of freshmen, but dang it, they're good. Duke will play the winner of American versus Mount St. Mary's. So pick one of those 16 seeds to win.
The Mount's back, baby.
That's right.
They're back.
Yep. We love the Mount. 8 Mississippi State, 9 Baylor. I'm not worried for Duke there, which means I have sealed their fate. Here's where I think the region gets really interesting. Oregon, the 5 seed, plays 12 Liberty. That's a gettable game for Liberty, even though I think Oregon will be okay with Biddle at center. I think they'll be fine. But Arizona, Akron, 4-13. That's got upset written all over it, in my opinion. And again, I know I'm saying this like, duh, Aaron, these are the kind of numbers you see, like the seed numbers you see for upsets. But like, not to spoil anything, I've got Akron winning this game. BYU VCU is a great 6-11 game. Wisconsin
Great
at 3 is fascinating. St. Mary's checks in at 7. I think they're being vastly underrated here at 7.
Yep.
And we'll find out because they probably will play, if they get past Vanderbilt, they'll probably play the 2 seed Alabama. So strap in for this one because I think Duke probably has the easiest path of any of the 1 seeds, only because I could see there being a lot of carnage with some of these other seeds. Now, the 1 seed I think that has the toughest draw, probably easily, is Houston, who is the 1 seed in the Midwest. That's because they probably have to play Gonzaga in round 2. Now, or it could be Georgia. Either one's a challenge. That's what's awaiting Houston in round 2, assuming they get past the Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville. Shout out Cougars, first NCAA tournament. Suey. You've got Clemson, a 5 seed here. That's a good team. Purdue. And if Purdue is not there, it's because High Point beat them, and that's a team that can score a ton of buckets. Go High Point. Illinois is in this region. Kentucky's in this region. UCLA, Tennessee. This region is stacked. I mean, you could get a Tennessee-Kentucky rematch in the Sweet 16. You could get Illinois. I don't know what they're going to do. Who knows? They could lose to Xavier or Texas in the first round, but they could also make an Elite 8. It's no in between. Illinois is not a team that's going to lose in the round of 32. They're either like Elite 8 or die to the 11 seed. Yeah.
Absolutely correct.
So, gentlemen, that's the bracket. So, Johnny, I'll start with you. We'll do Final Four in a little bit, but first, what is the most shocking upset that you currently have on your main bracket?
Well, I'm going to break the rules because I can't just tell you one. But the most shocking one is I do have High Point over Purdue in the first round. I think that's probably the most shocking one. Wow. That's not typical that a lot of people have picked. I think Purdue is actually overseeded, not by a ton, but I think they're overseeded. I know they're excellent at guard, and that means that this pick's probably dumb. because in the NCAA tournament, free throws and guard play critical. But I think there's too much baked in brands at times with the seeding and assumptions. And this Purdue team did not really impress me a lot this year. I couldn't believe that they got 2 first-team all Big Ten selections. That just was insane to me. And then Michigan State, who won the conference, didn't get a single one. I'm sorry, that didn't make any sense. But that's probably my biggest one that I have. I do like Aaron. I'm concerned about Arizona. Everybody picked Drake over Missouri, and then the other one, I guess, biggest upset I have seed wise is I do have UC San Diego beating Michigan. That's a pretty typical one right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a total hater for that pick. Like, I really do want that to happen for obvious reasons. Honestly, I would want that even if it wasn't Michigan. Like, I'd probably want that against any team that UC San Diego is playing anyway. The fact that it's Michigan, I want it to happen even more. So go Tritons.
Yeah.
I love it. Josh, go ahead.
I was going to say, because mine's a lot dumber than yours.
Good.
I had a rule going into this bracket. 1, fast as possible. Don't think. Go.
Smart.
2,
Smart.
only pick SEC teams out of the first round if they're a 1 seed. So by default, my biggest upset is Wofford over Tennessee.
Oh, gosh. The Terrier.
No.
The 19 and 15 Terriers that I couldn't believe got a 15 seed. Like, that's major. I will say this. They deserve a 15 because they play in the SoCon. Like, the Southern Conference for basketball is awesome. So they kind of did deserve the 15. I was just surprised with their record. Anyway, continue, Josh.
No, I think
Go
that's
Terriers. Go Terriers. That's awesome.
Everything else, I have a few picks like you. I'm picking San Diego to go far.
I love Johnny's like, oh, I'm being a hater. Josh is like, ha, watch this.
Wait, hater? No.
Yeah. Oh, my.
I'm picking against every single team I'm not in the mood to see.
Yeah.
Also, I'm picking teams based on which fan base I think would be funniest to see cheer. And so Yale is going a lot farther than they probably should.
Hey, that Yale team's good. If you didn't watch that Ivy League title game against Cornell, you missed out. That was a bunch of ballers out there.
Like, I have them going far enough.
Yeah. That's a bunch of entrepreneurs out on that
crazy if they pull off that upset.
I want so many nerds not knowing how to cheer.
Yeah.
Those librarians are really going to have to shush those students.
That's true. Yep.
You can tell we're very well versed in Ivy League.
Yes.
Sport podcast,
exactly.
Obviously.
All right. I think the biggest upsets, you guys have already hit this. Well, Josh basically said I'm picking every upset. So smart, because then you can say called it when that happens. I also have UC San Diego. It's going to make me sound like a hater too. But a reminder, in 2022, I believe it was, when Iowa won the Big Ten, everyone was really high on Iowa. Like, oh my gosh, this team is rolling. This team's got, it's going to be great. And they lost their first round game. I'm trying to remember who upset them that year, but they lost.
Big upset.
Yeah. Michigan plays on Thursday, which is somewhat significant because they're coming off of 3 games in 3 days, which ended on Sunday. It's also 10 p.m., which is kind of weird. It's the southern region, but their start time's 10 p.m. That probably gets pushed later. So I do have the Tritons winning, but my biggest upset, even though I've got like Colorado State beating Memphis, and I've got Drake winning like all of you, and I've got Akron over Arizona, my biggest upset happens in the second round. And this is an extremely hot take that I'm not even necessarily rooting for, but I just have to have one seed lose before they get to the Final Four. I'm probably picking the wrong one. Guys, I've got UConn beating Florida in the round of 32.
Ooh.
Making the Sweet 16, where they're then defeated by Maryland. So how does Maryland, a team I'm really high on, how do they get to the Elite Eight and maybe beyond? By having a team take out their biggest threat for them. Because Florida, that offense is insane. UConn doesn't even guard. I don't know how this is going to happen, but Dan Hurley's seen so many of these games. I don't even like him, but I think that veteran presence that they have will be enough to get through. One of these 1 seeds is going to fall in the round of 32, probably. Just statistically, it just tends to happen that way. So my guess is Florida. It's probably going to be wrong, but that's my hottest take on this entire bracket is my upset of UConn. And I don't even want it. I'd kind of rather see Florida win, to be quite frank with you, but that's what I've got. So that's my biggest upset, which means that in my Final Four, I said that I had to have one seed team not make the Final Four because I've got 3 of them in my Final Four. I don't love it. It's probably not going to happen that way because it usually doesn't, but I've got Auburn there. I've got Duke there. I've got Houston there, and I've got Maryland making the Final Four, a 4 seed. And in my championship, I'm going straight chalk. It's Auburn. It's Houston. I love this Houston team. I am really worried about the region that they're in. The Midwest is stacked.
Yeah.
They've got a tough path, which probably includes trying to get past Gonzaga in the round of 32. But I've got Houston over Auburn in the championship with a score of 74-60. Give me the Cougars to take home the championship in Texas, in San Antonio.
For me, I hate mine more than Aaron's because I just went so chalk on this. I do have Michigan State taking out Auburn.
Nice.
And they will be in the Final Four in
like
mine. I have BYU going on a mini run in the East, but they're eventually taken out by Duke. Man, that Duke team's good. Yeah. And they have to be brimming with confidence after winning the ACC tournament without Cooper Flagg. I know I already talked about, hey, don't fall in love with the really hot team just because of their conference tournament. It doesn't always translate. I think that's very translatable for Duke. And now that is the assumption that Cooper Flagg is healthy, though. Like, if he's not healthy, we're trying to find the 1 seed that goes down. It's probably Duke in that situation if he's not healthy. So that's based on that assumption, of course. In the West, man, that Florida team feels unstoppable because it's so many different ways and methods of scoring. It's so many different guys. They're not overly reliant on one scorer. And I say all of that, and there's easily a time where they just, for some reason, they're playing at 10 o'clock Eastern and, and I don't know where these games are at in Phoenix and Florida. It's a gator in a desert. It doesn't adapt well and they lose. But I have them.
Doesn't work.
I have them in the Final Four anyway. Facing St. John's would be a blast. Like Aaron said, he doesn't really want UConn to beat Florida. I don't, because I want to see St. John's defense go against Florida's offense. I think that would just be a phenomenal matchup of basketball to watch those minds go head to head. I hope that happens. I have Houston in the Midwest, terrified of the Gonzaga game. I'm literally the most scared for Houston before the Final Four. The matchup that scares me the most is Gonzaga, not Tennessee, not potentially Kentucky or Illinois. I actually have High Point beating Clemson after they beat Purdue. So the High Point helps them out a little bit. But I'm terrified of that Gonzaga game, like if I'm a Houston fan. But I have Houston going through. That's easily where my bracket could implode just instantly, day 3 or whatever. But that means I have Michigan State, Duke, Florida, Houston. I have Houston beating Duke. I have Florida beating Michigan State. Michigan State's a great team. They just don't have enough firepower for Florida. I have a Houston-Florida final. I know that's probably not super out of what a lot of people are picking, but I have Houston finally getting it done.
No.
They find a way to shut down the Gators.
Johnny,
and
no.
Florida wins.
They're
I know.
so
I'm
dead.
screwing. They're dead.
They're done.
Dead. Gonzaga is going to beat them in the second round because
gosh.
of this.
Yeah. How do we do this? We don't share our brackets with each other.
We really
do this
don't.
every single time.
We really don't. So Houston is screwed.
Guess who's winning my bracket too?
No.
And part of the problem is I want Houston to win.
Yeah,
right. I really would like. Houston's gotten like a bad rub and gotten on the poor end of some calls and just unfortunate like endings of basketball games in the
Yeah.
tournament. And so like I think subconsciously I really want them to win.
Yeah.
So sorry, Houston.
So
Your
sorry.
fate has been sealed, but I hope I'm right somehow.
Josh just put him 1 foot further down in the grave, I guess.
Put that nail in the coffin.
I originally had Auburn and Florida, Alabama, Houston in my Final Four. And then, like Mr. Krabs, I went, oh, wait, that's right. I hate the SEC. So I switched a few things out.
Oh no. Go back to the original.
No,
Go back to the original.
I go back to hate. So I have St. John's and Houston in my final because I believe I was, after that halftime speech, I was lacing up.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I have friends who went to Houston. They graduated from UH, and they're just really nice people. And I would love to see them happy, genuinely.
Mm.
And I feel so bad that we've dug their grave.
You know what? No.
But my thought process
No.
is, here's my thought
They're
process.
gonna do it. They're gonna do it.
If they're able to get out of their own division,
Houston's got this.
they're golden. If Gonzaga, then the world.
Yeah, if they beat Gonzaga, they're gonna win the national title.
That's it.
Like
That's it.
that's I'm literally going to be sweating but going into that game against Gonzaga. I'm just praying for Georgia to just beat the Bulldogs somehow. Well, Bulldogs and Bulldogs.
Johnny, how was
that
your
was a
mascot
weird
bracket on that one?
That was weird in the mascot bracket, man. That was weird. That was weird. That was
Did you have to go like UGA versus whatever the name of their mascot is?
No, that would have been interesting, but I actually just Googled the origins of the Bulldog and which campus was closer, and it's England, so
Wow.
Athens is much closer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there you have it. Houston, wow.
So sorry.
You guys are losing to the 16
no, they
seed.
got
Who are
it.
they playing? Who's the 16 seed there? I'm pulling it up. Someone beat me to it.
Is it Suey?
Yeah, they're playing Suey.
Oh, go
No,
Cougars.
not Suey. Oh, what? Cougars are both. Cougars are both.
True. Yeah, how'd you figure that one out? What was the
I think
determining
same
factor?
thing. I think the same thing.
Okay.
Would there's more Cougars are more likely to live in Texas than in
Illinois.
Southern
Illinois specifically.
Yeah, Southern Illinois.
All
in
right.
Edwardsville, in the city of Edwardsville as well. Like not likely to be a habitat conducive to Cougars.
Having been to
Sometimes
Houston.
the guys make picks based on their vast knowledge of sports. Sometimes they make picks based on vibes.
To me, North Florida is either losing their first game against Austin P by 1 billion, or they're winning the Atlantic Sun and making a Sweet 16 run, and there's no in between.
There's no in between.
Either way, they're probably going to be wrong. It's time for Picks of the Week.
You thought that last segment was Picks of the Week. We did all that for free. No points in our I almost said points of the week. That too. In our Picks of the Week standings, where I have 8 points, Josh and Johnny have 6 points this season. And a reminder, I got to get this graphic up on stream for you guys who are watching on YouTube. But we have a great trophy. It's a misshapen star that says, "You're done it." That's what we're competing for, and it's worth it. And we're actually halfway through the season already, if you can believe it. The reason why our standings in Picks of the Week are the way they are is because Houston, who we have collectively doomed to lose to the 16 seed, did win the Big 12. I picked that. Johnny picked that Duke would win the ACC, and Josh, I'm sorry, the University of North Texas did not win Conference USA. However, they are making an appearance in the NIT, playing Furman in the first round, which is actually a great matchup.
okay.
So,
Great matchup.
there you go. I think they checked in as a 2 seed in the NIT. So tough.
I think I should get
the
another
main game.
half a point for Cooper Flagg getting hurt.
Yeah.
Duke's still winning it.
Yeah, fair enough. And one for Johnny. This week, believe it or not, guys, there is Major League Baseball regular season happening this week. Are you ready? Probably not, but it's here.
No,
There are
not
2
ready.
games happening in
Mentally,
Japan.
no.
Set your alarms now, folks, because these games are being played at 6:10 a.m. Eastern time
Oh, that's
on
not so
Tuesday
early.
and Wednesday. No,
Oh,
we've had worse. We've watched
normal.
curling at 4 a.m. We can do anything.
Yep. Your unemployed friend is gonna have a blast.
Yes, that's true.
Now, my unemployed friend is just going to sleep at that time.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Make him
So-
stay up and watch.
That's right. He's got nothing better to do. He can sleep at 10 o'clock. Who cares? Just pull an all-nighter
What's
for
he
this.
gonna do? Not apply for more jobs? Cool.
Yeah, true. The Los Angeles Dodgers are making their second appearance back-to-back in this Japan opening series, which makes sense, right? You've got Shohei. Also, you've got many other players now at this point that the Dodgers are accumulating from Japan. I mean, more power to them. We have not really fully gotten into the discussion of what should be done about that. The reality is what should be done is other teams should actually start to try. But that's not happening, so the Dodgers are easily the favorites to repeat in Major League Baseball. They're going up against the Chicago Cubs. So they are playing 2 games. Both of these games are actually being considered as home games for the Cubs. I don't know how the Dodgers got away with that one, but they did. Our job is to say which team is to basically tell you how these games are going to go. So there's obviously 3 options. The Dodgers could sweep, the Cubs could sweep, or it could be boring and the team split 1-1. And that's what I'm saying is going to happen. There's no Mookie Betts in this series for the Dodgers. They announced that he's missing this because of an illness. So all the best to him. I hope he feels better soon. But that's at least one less All-Star that the Dodgers are going to trot out there on their opening day. And I believe they split this series last year against the Padres. So I'm gonna go boring. I'm gonna try to keep my lead in picks of the week. I'm saying, let's say the Dodgers win game 1, Cubs come back, win game 2.
I am praying for the slump that often can happen after a championship year, like with the Texans. Ignore that. I meant the Rangers, but sometimes Rangers, Texans. Sometimes it happens.
Same
It's
thing.
Okay. Also, they did sophomore slump. It was okay. I just don't want to see the Dodgers again. I didn't want to see them the first time, so I'm going Cubs sweep on spite.
For some reason,
Wow.
I'm not annoyed by the Dodgers. Probably because of what Aaron just said. Why don't the rest of you try more?
Right.
Like, at least they really care and they try and they're sport. Like, you guys can do deferred payments too. Anyway,
Go into
I'm
debt, everybody.
Aaron got on the sheet first and did a team split. That probably would have been mine as well, but I don't want to pick the same as him. So Dodgers, I think, are more likely to sweep than the Cubs. Even without Mookie Betts, I'll go Dodgers.
Okay.
Johnny, you have a lot to learn on being a professional hater. Like me.
That's right. Josh, I hope this works so well for you. That'd be amazing.
It'd be so funny.
Now, I got to ask you guys this because those that are watching on YouTube, I've got my Joey Votto jersey hanging behind me. I am going to Reds opening day, which I'm thrilled about. This is the first time I'm doing that. So I'm eagerly waiting for the 10-day forecast to let me know that it's going to rain the entire day. But for now, I'm holding out hope that it will be great. I'm going to the parade, doing all the fun things that you should do when you go to Cincinnati Reds opening day. The best part about Reds opening day is they haven't lost yet. That might be the best thing. Right now, this is again for free, not worth any points. Do you guys think the Reds make the playoffs this year with Terry Francona as manager? Another year, hopefully a healthier year for some of the young Reds. Yes or no, Reds playoffs? I say no because this team hates me.
Yes, because I have to be right about it once.
Fair enough.
Also, actually, I shouldn't say it like that. I always pick them to be bad. So I'm going to pick them to be good for once. Why
Okay.
not be optimistic? They've been bad my entire life, basically.
Yeah, we
Minus 2
collectively
seasons.
have never seen them win a playoff series.
No.
And we're
They
not
were good
that
for
young.
2 years. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So
I'll continue with the no streak.
I fear that you are
let it be said, I'm the only one who believed in that and
Oh,
Terry
yeah.
Francona
Got that
before the
chat,
season. A Johnny guarantee,
Oh,
one
boy.
might say.
Oh, no.
Perchance.
Oh gosh.
The guys
I didn't say
spent
win the
hours
division.
scrolling
I said
social
they'll be in.
media, and they found some pretty dumb stuff. Now they want to talk to you about it.
You get like 10 extra points per sport if you also fire a rifle at a target. like for any and every
Just any
sport.
sport.
And you get sports.
LeBron
And
for
that- and that's-
three, and then pulls out a rifle and shoots a target.
Yeah.
Good luck. It's time for What We're Following.
Aaron, with that intro, I feel like I need to go first.
Go.
I talk a lot about guns potentially in mine.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
So it's what, like I said at the very beginning of the show, this is one of my favorite times of the entire year before the brackets even like started.
Mhm.
You know, like Thursday and Friday should be a national holiday. Those 4 days are for the best days in the entire year. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of this week. Anyway, one of the brackets that I like to do a lot of brackets for fun. You know, everybody likes doing. I do a holier than thou bracket for all you Pharisees out there. I do like a random coin flip bracket. Maybe I'll even use the AI for a bracket this year. One bracket I'm going to do this year is I'm going to bake some chocolate chip cookies and see which cookie reminds me of which team more than the other. Tweet me if that doesn't make sense and I'll share. But the bracket that I'm talking about, that I talk about every year, is the mascot bracket. And let me tell you, it was one of my favorite mascot brackets that I've ever done. Some years are a little repetitive, but this year we have some new entrants and some teams that aren't in that typically are, which makes it a little bit more interesting. So I'll just point out some of the more fun matchups in the mascot brackets. And for all of you who ask, the mascot bracket, sometimes people ask me all the time, do you say the name or the like guy actually like what they're dressed up as? And so I like to go by the actual name, but you can do either one. I get it, but it does make a difference if you're Miami or Iowa State, because it's an Ibis, but they're the Hurricanes, or it's a Cardinal, but they're the Cyclones. It does matter anyway. Or Alabama, Crimson Tide, Elephant. Anyway, just so you know, it's the name. So one of my more fun, and we said it's their first year they're eligible to be in the NCAA tournament, and they made it. And that is the UC San Diego Tritons. And so I took that as also basically Poseidon. So this might be the first time the Iowa State Cyclones have been in the NCAA and not made the Final Four, because Cyclone loses to Poseidon.
Yeah, fair
and
enough.
The Tridents. Yeah. Another great one was, I love the Midwest Elite Eight because you have Volunteers against Tennessee Volunteers against the McNeese Cowboys. Cowboys, though, based on the logo, on a horse, so they win. They make the Final Four in the Midwest. It's Red Raiders in the West. Honestly, very weak mascot bracket in the West. Disappointed in them this season. And then we have the Liberty Flames out of the East. Once again, not the mascot, but the name. Fire beats every animal, basically. So Flames. Also, Flames beat Devil. So Duke goes down.
Beats Devil.
Yep. Read Revelation, Josh. He gets thrown in that pit.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Final four then is UC San Diego Tritons against Texas Tech Red Raiders. You know Poseidon's beating the Red Raiders. And then you have the Flames against Cowboys. Flames win that. But then you have Flames against the Tritons. Obviously, extinguish Flames. Poseidon, UC San Diego Tritons win the mascot bracket this year. First year eligible. They take the trophy home. Well done, UC San Diego. We love you. So that's all I'm following. Mascot brackets and all of my other random brackets that I will fill out that have nothing to do with guessing accuracy.
Josh, are you preparing your rebuttal?
Josh. Aaron, maybe you need to go. Give Josh some time.
This may take some time. He gets his formal 3 minutes or whatever it was in speech class back in the day.
Rebuttal.
Yeah, so I've got a couple things. One's good, one's bad. So obviously I'm going to lead with the bad. I just saw a picture that came across my timeline. They redesigned Bob the Builder. It's horrible.
Oh.
Why?
What?
What was wrong with Bob the Builder that you had
Wait,
to
is he live
redesign it?
action now?
Basically,
Is he
it
live
might as
action?
well be.
Because everything's
It's
live
worse.
action.
No, it's like
I'd
just
rather him have been a guy.
yes.
What?
It's just
What?
look it up,
It would have been
Johnny.
better
It's terrible.
if they cast like I don't know,
It like truly live action would be better.
truly
Yeah.
like I
Which
don't
we all know live action is actually just different animation, right? Like everybody
Well-
knows this.
Right. We're still waiting on the live action Finding Nemo. I'd like to point out.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Live action Monsters Incorporated. Let's see it.
True. That's true.
Listen,
You
I
want to
don't know
get kids
if Zachary Levi's
screaming?
doing anything. I think he's still
Yeah,
part
that
of
guy's
From-
creepy.
Yeah.
Oh, why
Yeah,
is he
right?
so creepy?
I don't know.
It's horrendous.
Yeah. Anyways, that's the
know.
bad. The
I'd
good.
rather they have mocapped Zachary Levi or I don't know. Who else is not really doing much right now?
Did they do live action
Bob the
Blue's
Builder.
Clues?
There's
that
a
a thing?
movie coming out soon for
That's
Bob the Builder.
Fancast. That's
Oh.
Fancast, Bob the Builder.
When's that coming out,
movie
Johnny?
or, like,
I don't know. Bob the Builder, set up as a contemporary reimagining, Bob the Builder will follow Roberto, or Bob, as he heads to Puerto Rico for construction work and learns about new cultures while improving his building skills.
Okay. So we did basically a Dora the
Um,
Explorer, like Bob the Builder crossover is what I'm hearing.
cool. You know who
Mhm.
underwrote it? You know
Okay.
who like funded it in part? J-Lo.
Oh, Jennifer Lopez
Oh.
is producing Bob the Builder.
I thought you were about to say the Puerto Rican government, but that's better. Okay.
I love that he's also called Roberto. Like,
Guys, it's on Peacock. If you already have Peacock for the
wait, it's on it already?
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
we
wait,
gotta watch.
It's out?
There's
Why am I on
there's,
the show right
an
now?
animated there's an animated show.
Oh.
Oh, the show.
Well, we want the movie.
not
There's
the
an
movie.
animated
We want the
show.
movie.
Yeah,
Not the movie. Okay,
not the movie.
cool.
You can watch the animation you guys are seeing that still is from the animated show.
Okay.
Right. It's going to be actual people in the movie.
Oh, okay. Good.
Good.
Now, do you have to, is
Yeah.
it one of those things where you have to watch the show to know what's going on in the movie?
Probably. Is it part of the Bob the Builder cinematic universe?
Right.
Like, we got to keep up.
Right.
And is he in the same cinematic universe, Dora and Blue?
I think the answer is yes.
Oh my goodness.
When Blue
He's
comes through a
Diego's-
portal, that's when you'll know.
So it's Dora's cousin Diego, then Diego's uncle, not related to Dora.
Roberto.
Roberto.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is the tie.
Yeah.
Where's Blue in all this?
Oh, Blue.
Actually, it's when Claymation Bob comes through the portal. That's when you know you're in
Oh,
the
no.
multiverse of Bob the Builder.
that's a different-
Sorry.
yeah, that's
now,
a
is
different
it Bob's?
timeline.
Is it, the age-old question:
Different
is it
timeline.
Bob's the Builder or Bob the Builders?
Bob's the Builders.
Or true, Bob's the Builders. Both are plural because we're
That's
Both are
stupid.
plural. I want them both plural and possessive. Bob's the
Or only
Builders.
one possessive. We're not going to tell you which one.
Yeah.
Get Danielle in here.
Oh, she heard that this
Neither way,
conversation was
neither
happening
way,
and
teacher.
ran screaming. Oh man,
Ooh, IMDb. Here we go. Bob the Builder and the
That's not what it's
Knights
called.
of Fix-a-Lot. This is a TV movie from 2003.
oh.
See, that one's
that's
probably
7 point-
good.
So is
Yeah,
this-
the
banger?
original.
So is Bob's the Builders? Is that the sequel then to this movie?
Oh,
Like I've got a lot of TV to watch. Is what I'm telling
it's
you.
mirrored, but you're gonna see.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm bracing myself.
It's Bob the Builders.
No.
No, but that's his dad. It's
Oh,
yeah,
when
we're
it's-
good.
when it's in reference to his dad.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's
Full
one
title
of the Bob's
It's
dad.
It's his
Yes.
name. Bob
Yes.
the Builder's dad. That's the full name.
Yeah.
And if we're gonna talk about his father,
Mr. Builders.
Yes,
Mr. Builders.
Mr. Builders.
Father, Mr. Builders.
Mr. Builders,
So it's
sir.
Bob's the Builder's dad. Bob's the Builder's dad. Bob the Builders.
Oh no.
Why isn't this show more popular? All right.
That's right. I was also following Backyard Sports, who is doing the Lord's work. They're coming out with Backyard Baseball on mobile, and there's no ads.
Ad free.
Woo!
Well,
Let's
that means you can charge
go.
it. Yeah, I'll spend $5 on a mobile app. Yes. To
Yes.
not
Yeah,
have ads.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Today.
definitely.
This might be the best mobile game since I don't. When's the last time a good mobile game's come out?
Flappy Bird.
The
Yeah.
original Angry Birds.
Flappy
Yes.
Bird.
Yeah, like
Flappy.
Doodle Jump, Flappy Bird,
Before any-
cut
Oh,
the
I
rope.
still have
kinda
Doodle
era.
Jump.
Oh,
I still
nice.
got Doodle
I
Jump.
respect that. I respect that. So that's exciting. I'll leave my what I'm following on that note. Josh, we got you a little sidetracked by our Bob's the Builders discussion.
Sorry,
but are
I
you
100%
ready to rebuttal
That was
that?
more
I had
important.
28.
It was more important.
That was more
He's not
important.
consumed. It's an eternal fire, so he never technically dies.
but he surely doesn't win.
He's
Revelation
consumed.
19,
I'll take that. I
No,
think the
not
flames still win.
Yeah.
consumed.
He's
The
trapped.
flames win.
Death-
Flames
Here's
win,
the
yeah.
thing: death itself is also one of the things thrown into the pit of fire. So I don't know if you can technically say,
Fire beats death. Oh. Wow.
guys, I need
Fire beats death. Who knew?
all consuming. That's what
Don't
they
take
say.
that in a don't take
Please,
practical measures
Do
out
not
of that.
do anything.
Do not-
Don't do anything concrete with that information. We beg of you.
Right. Instead, go to our
So
last
so Josh
point.
is confirming. You're
Re-
confirming my pick, Josh.
Refer to our
Thank
last
you.
point.
I
Bob's
didn't-
the
I
Builders.
didn't confirm anything.
Yes,
I simply
Bob's the
stated
Builders.
the data within the NA28. It's okay.
Aaron, I have a question. When are we going to get a Builders as a mascot?
That's a
Somebody's
great
gotta be
question.
Builders.
Yeah.
Wait, like the inserts, university here, like
Construction
Wolfman?
worker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Columbus Crew is about as
Come
close
on,
as
we
we've-
got the fried okra or whatever as
Right.
a mascot. We can't have a.
Hey,
You're
no, I
right. The
realize you're not knocking
Columbus
them. I know
Crew
you're
is the
not knocking
closest
them.
we have.
Columbus Crew is the soccer team for the working.
That's the closest we have. But I
Mhm.
mean, we need a university.
Builders.
with This
They
name.
need to sing.
Builders.
And their
All right,
mascot
new-
name is
new
Bob,
Twitter
and they
crew.
get trademark infringement, and the school goes
Yeah.
bankrupt.
Maybe Puerto Rico has this school and we don't know. Maybe it's
maybe.
in San Juan.
Yeah.
Bob's the
All right.
Builders.
Oh
Guys,
man.
there's been a lot happening in the past week in Texas,
Yo. Oh.
and I think,
Oh.
I
Oh.
think
Yes.
there are so many things going on, not just in the state of Texas, in the specific city of Dallas. Sorry, Fort Worth, you don't count for this period.
You're talking about
Dallas-
SMU hosting the NIT, I assume.
Yes,
Yes.
SMU hosting the NIT. So many good things,
Mm-hmm.
guys. There's a chance that I don't know if I want it to happen or if I.
Oh, I
don't
do.
want it to.
I
really
do.
There's a
I want the
chance
history
based
of it.
on the current eligibility of the remaining healthy players on the Mavs roster. As of the tweets that I saw a few days ago, the remaining games that the Mavs had were 14. The most any one player had of eligibility was 11. And everyone else was in single digits, I believe. So
Yep.
there's a chance that we're going to see in the near future, very near, like a Dallas Mavericks team that cannot field 5 players. NBA Central. No, Central first said they're moving Anthony Davis to the G League. And then apparently the Mavs saw that and thought, great idea, let's do that. And they genuinely, I had to double take because I could have sworn
know.
I had like, I saw the NBA Central post and I went, wait, I thought I already liked, oh, this is real. I don't, so that's where the Mavs are. Now, because of that, I believe, as many people do down here, that we are starting a series of divine plagues upon the city of Dallas in response to the mismanagement of the Mavs. Namely, a dust storm. For the past week, we have had an incredible amount of dust and dirt blow in with from unusually high wind from West Texas. It was a solid, like, I don't know, like a good, like, when you like, hey, what was how much snow? It's like a dust. It was that amount, like that, like solid layer of dirt on my car between Thursday and Friday. insane. Then Saturday, I was driving and I ended up running into a lot of traffic. And I'm like, why is there all this traffic? Oh, this is the weekend of St. Patrick's Day. Maybe there's something. There was a parade. I pulled off. I was like a half mile from the parade. So I went and watched the parade. And there, I saw a beautiful, a lot of beautiful Fire Nico signs. That's just a side note.
I love that the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Oh, it was
Priorities,
perfect.
man.
Oh, also, here's the thing. We did, and again, not that I'm saying to celebrate either or. Dallas did nothing for Mardi Gras. Absolutely nothing. This St. Patrick's Day parade was like 3 miles long. It was the rowdiest, like most energetic parade I've ever been a part of. It felt like Mardi Gras, and I'm very confused because it's just, well, again, I can't say that as someone who is whose heritage is British. I can't say, oh, I don't understand the Irish. They're gonna go, of course you don't.
Yeah, how dare
Like,
you?
yeah. But it just felt odd, and I'm at the same time so glad that I got to see a lot of Fire Nico stuff. But then I've already sent McDonald's to jail. That was a straight to jail. I didn't mention it. They're going to jail.
It's part of the plagues, Josh.
Apparently, the sky is falling in Dallas as well. And by that, I mean the planes. And I'm not saying they're crashing. I'm saying they're not going to get off the ground in the first place because nobody's flying on them. Southwest decided that Nico Harrison's move to shortchange the next decade of
this
Dallas
is one
legacy.
Of the plagues also.
Southwest, as of any flight booked on or after May 28th, so starting May 29th, no more free checked bags. No more being able to change your flight for no fee. No more free cancellation. Those got buried in the headlines, but I saw the full 8-page press release they put out.
It's no first come, first serve.
No first come, first serve. Now, you can get all of this if you get their business class, because who doesn't fly business class on Southwest?
It's literally every single airline does that too. Like that's...
Yeah. If you pay the money, you can get good boarding position and 2 checked bags and a free drink and free cancellation, free transfer of flights, all of that. But not on their new system. It's not even called Wanna Get Away. It's just called Basic.
I hate everything. That's what it's called.
It's called Getaway.
It's called Go Away.
Go. Go.
Jeez.
I can assure
Part of
you,
the plagues. It's sure somehow Nico's fault, right, Josh?
this is somehow Nico's fault. Not somehow, definitely. I wasn't able to get tickets to the opening game for the Rangers. However, I guarantee you,
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
we saw
Oh, yeah.
chants down in San Antonio. We will hopefully see those chants when San Antonio hosts some of the March Madness games. I didn't mean to end on a bummer. I don't normally
No, it's
carry the
okay.
bummers.
Now, Josh, I'll help you not end
That's
on a
normally
bummer.
me.
I will help you
Yeah.
not end on a bummer because next week we're going to be interviewing Nico Harrison on our show. So get ready for
Yes,
that.
You got him.
Yeah, we got him. Yep, we
How
told
did
him
you
that we
hide
loved
all
his
of our
decisions
episodes?
and that we're excited to talk to him. So next week, don't forget, it's probably going to end up in the What You're Following section because where the heck else are we going to put it? Nico Harrison calling into the show. Josh, you can interview him.
Perfect.
Very excited.
I know he is so pro interviews right now.
Mhm. Yes.
He's very also pro Southwest Airlines.
Oh, yeah.
pro.
He was probably the
Pro
person that
chair.
thought that was a good idea, too.
Pro.
Yeah.
Yep. You
So-
know that thing that differentiates us? Get rid of it.
Hey,
Throw it
if
out.
you're an airline and you are wanting to give your best pitch, I'm flying to Orlando in November, so give me your best shot.
Ooh,
Very
free
good.
agency. Josh is an airplane.
I'm an
Free
airplane
agency.
free agency. So you a Delta fanboy, you an American boy, you
United.
like beating people up on United, please.
Join us on United, Josh. Join us.
Y'all United? Y'all United?
That's right. Wow. Yep. Nico
know what?
Harrison live on the show next week. Get excited.
Next week.
This is probably going to ensure that we never actually have a guest ever again, but worth it. Nico Harrison on the show next week.
Hey, we only need one podcast to go viral.
True. That's a good
And
point.
it's honestly been 2 years since our correct yet hot Bears take.
Yeah.
We need more hate watches.
Yeah, we
So
do.
I would love to. You know what I would love to do actually? Nico Harrison comes on, and also Nico. At this point, I hope this podcast nor any one of your assistants. I hope you come in cold. We are going to butter you up like you wouldn't believe. I want this podcast, and if we can do it, I would love that. I want us to, as earnestly as possible, I can't even say the words. Congratulate and encourage
On his bold moves.
on his boldness. You know what people don't do?
He had the
Johnny?
courage. The
They
courage
don't-
to make the moves.
They don't act consistent with who they are. They always play the safe game. You know what's safe? Keeping your 25-year-old yet to be fully matured star. You know what's bold? Hiring a bunch of people with paper skin and glass bones
Yep.
as the younger, fresher, defensive-focused parts of your championship team. That takes courage.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we applaud here on this show.
Absolutely.
Arbitrary and capricious doesn't always have to be bad, you know.
It most definitely is in this case, but doesn't always have to be bad.
Okay, man. I can't say anymore.
Josh, I'm ready to run through a wall. I don't know for what purpose, but I'm ready.
I think I want to
Action statement. Go to your local McDonald's and
Don't leave until.
yeah. Don't leave until you
Don't
get
be
that
rude.
Shamrock Shake. Yeah, it's
Go
not
to
the
like a-
workers' fault.
Yeah, it's not the workers' fault.
Complain to
listen, as someone who
corporate.
worked listen, I worked at McDonald's. Sometimes it is the workers'
Complain to
fault.
corporate. Complain
Find
to
a
corporate.
place where it is the workers' fault, or just go to a 24-hour one.
Gaslight them into thinking it is.
Gaslight them. Listen,
My
at the same time, we had Shamrock Shake stuff until May when I was
Yeah.
working there in
Yeah.
high
If
school.
you really wanted to make it, you could.
I always offered it to people. I'm like, hey, we
Oh,
still got
look at you,
Shamrock.
Josh. Uncle
Man of the
O'Grimacy would
people.
be very proud.
Yes.
Very proud. Go
Who
get that
doesn't
shake.
want a surprise late April Shamrock? I thought you guys didn't have it, but I got you. Is it July 4th? Hey, this expiration date's August 5th. I got you. Let's get that green stuff in you.
My action
Happy St.
statement is to
Patrick's Day.
keep this show going until Johnny's just actually in pitch black.
Oh yeah, please.
Yeah. I love this time of the year. I always have to gamble. Made the wrong gamble this year.
Yeah, that's right.
This
Oh,
week.
there we go. I'm back.
It's now dark enough that we can see all 5 of Johnny's pixels on his camera, which probably means that we should go away. So listeners, it is a great, great week. I hope you enjoy the basketball to its full extent possible. We sleep in May. Enjoy that. Back at what I said a long, long time ago, I was very wrong about how many people the 49ers of Charlotte can fit in their stadium. They are the 4th smallest stadium in FBS, so the stadium we're actually going after, we're trying to get enough YouTube subscribers to fill up Fifth Third Stadium in Kennesaw, Georgia. Go Owls. They've got a capacity of 10,200 right now. So that's what we're going for first. Although I did not include on this list, I'm not sure it's included Delaware and Montana State, who are both new FBS members this year. So maybe there's
Is
one.
that one in Alaska is not technically FBS.
Sadly, no. But Kennesaw, we're coming after you. We're trying to get to that number. So if you are on YouTube, we encourage you to subscribe there. We've got a lot of content coming out. Until then, listeners, thanks for being here. Viewers, thanks for being here. We will see you all next week. Enjoy March Madness and drink whatever weird flavor of Coke they decide to advertise. We'll see you next week. YouTube, thanks for being here. We appreciate it as always. Mike, thanks for jumping on, man. Good to talk to you.
Is that Basement Mike?
Yeah. He asked if our thoughts on West
Yeah.
Virginia, and I said we talked about it earlier, but that was a snub. And
Yeah, tell him to watch my rant.
yes, I let him know that we had talked about it. So
If I knew more emo riffs, I would have totally just played like a lot of like Midwestern behind your rants. That would have been perfect.
yeah, for sure.
I probably put it in post.
Or West Virginia too. Like, of course it was West Virginia.
Right.
You know, like, couldn't have been a team from like New York.
Right. That no one cares about. All right. YouTube, thanks for being here. We'll see you next week.
Oh, we didn't tell him to join the group.